Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the time traveling toy collector, and this is something I did not believe I'd ever get a chance to show you. It is the USS Stargazer NCC 2893 from the XL range of Starship collection, as produced by Hero Collector and Eaglemoss and dispatched, and it arrived with me today from Master Replicas in the UK. So this is one of those later announced XL editions that then never made it into the primary market when Eaglemoss went into administration. They were trapped in storage containers in China, etc., and never actually got released. And now, thanks to the hard work of those involved, and particularly Master Replicas, I now have an XL in my collection, and indeed they are still available on the Master Replicas website at this time. Whether there'll be many left, I doubt it. So if you are someone desperately trying to get one, check out Master Replicas. This isn't an ad for them, by the way, this is just facts. Otherwise it may be down to the secondary markets, and goodness knows what that will look like. Anyway, I'm just thrilled that I managed to get it. I was poised when they announced when it was going to go live, and I'm thrilled to be in a position to be actually able to have purchased it. It's a beautiful model, and of course we'll get it in hand shortly. I'm just giving you a very slow rotation so you can check it out from all the different dimensions, hopefully close enough to be able to see all the detailing on the nacelles. But yes, this is Captain Picard's first command, as appeared in the Next Generation series, and there's also a newer version of the Stargazer that we've recently seen hitting our television screens as well. But this is the original version, and it's truly a magnificent and fantastic model and rendition of the ship. I'm super delighted to have it in my collection, and to be fair, I've sort of just rushed to get this out there because I'm so pleased that it now is in hand that I've not had a chance to really savor it and enjoy it. So we'll do that together, really. So apologies that I can't go into too much super relevant detail about the various components. Oh, and in addition, and this, I hope this isn't a deal breaker for those of you who are interested, it didn't come with a magazine. So you did get the sort of standard packaging for the ship, but it didn't come with a magazine, presumably because the magazine was never commissioned or actually printed, etc. They just had the ships made, and once they were imported, the magazines would have presumably been added had Eaglemoss continued, but of course, alas, that was not to be. I will be doing some photography of this ship towards the well, after I finish recording this, and I'll tag that onto the end. But I can already see, to be honest, from some of the lines of this ship, that it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's going to photograph extremely well. Extremely well. I'm just going to put it sideways for a second, just so you can get a really nice sort of profile shot there, because you can see all of this. Let's assume it's the engineering section where all the nacelles emerge from. Certainly it would be arguably the secondary hull, and we have the saucer section over here with some lovely detailing on it, and I will get it in hand. It isn't particularly weighty. Sometimes we find that there's a lot of die cast, or an element of die cast, either in the saucer section or in the sort of primary hull. There really isn't really a primary hull as such with this ship. There's the saucer section and sort of the aft engineering section, so it's quite possible that in the event of a catastrophic emergency, the saucer section would separate here away from the engineering hull, but I can't vouch for that. That's just, again, supposition on my part. But I think this is, you know, I think it's just a really lovely model, and the detailing on it is, generally speaking, absolutely excellent, and I'm so so pleased to have actually managed to get it into my collection. And it's also quite nice because, of course, it's an old ship when it manifests itself in the Next Generation. It's already quite, and I'll move out slightly just to give you a bit more of a better overall shot. So one of the things I like about it is that it manifests both current next generation aesthetics, but also is very closely aligned to the aesthetics of the original series and the movie period of time, and it sort of bridges the gap a bit between those two eras. You know, to me anyway, when I look at it, that's one of the things that I see. So let's get this out of the cradle. The cradle, you can see, hopefully you can see quite easily, it is quite nice. It actually manages to cup the weight of the ship without connecting with the nacelles, and it holds very nicely to the saucer section. It's a very comfortable fit, so you'll see as I remove it here, I'll push that out of the way, it is nice and wide and easy to pop the ship into. So let's bring the ship into the focus. Let's start with the saucer section. So you can see all of the lovely tampograph detail there on the saucer section. Some of the paint apps pulling out some of the sections there. You can see the registration there blazoned. The bridge section is very nicely pulled out. You can get in there and have a really good look at the bridge section. You can see those sort of bronzy golden panels around the edges, some of the phaser arrays on the front there. That connecting part of the neck, such as it is, let's see a little look at that, try and keep the light on it. From a model point of view, it is actually these two sections that sort of spring out from what I'm calling the engineering section, possibly wrongly, so apologies if that's the case. They are a mirror image, so they literally are the same pieces sort of flipped and attached to the model. You can see what I take to be the impulse engines there on the back section of that. It's really quite light. I mean, again, I wouldn't probably pick it up by the nacelles. I never pick anything up by the nacelles. So you can support it much more by the saucer section and a hand underneath the nacelles. But yeah, you can feel that they are still the lighter, more fragile element. And you can also see that there is some nice detailing around those nacelles. I'm trying to see if that would classify if it's just the paint or this is how close up I've got to it. I think that is transparent plastic being used for within the nacelles. I'm trying to determine whether it's that or it's a very glossy paint, but I think it is plastic. Yeah, it is actually the plastic that we're looking at there. I can see it now in the lights. And so you've got that on the top, and as I say, it does duplicate in the bottom, but we will still look at it. But I think the quality of the detailing there is really excellent. You can see that really great detailing across that engineering section. And then I'll move to the side so you can see some of that detailing around the side there. You've got that lovely blue. Is it a window array of some description, or is it a port? I'm not sure. And again, without the magazine, it's a bit of a shame because we can't really check. I'm sure I could find out online somewhere, or someone can let me know in the comments below. We can see the United Federation of Planets and the again, registration details along the side of the nacelles, as we are accustomed to seeing. We'll have a reverse shot so we can see exactly what the ship looks like from the rear. And again, you can see all of that detail, some really great detailing. But from a model building point of view, you can see how everything is a duplication of the other. So it's not too complex a mold, but it is nevertheless a terrific mold. So let's flip the whole thing. Start with the underside of the engineering section, and again you can see how that duplicates there. But again, as I say, very nice detailing. And again, coming through onto the underside of the saucer section, again, very nice detailing there, which you can see, and the reverse bridge section, where presumably we might have a captain's yacht tucked away, but we might not. But it's again, I think it's a lovely mould. Obviously it's used detailed plans. I really love it. I'm so thrilled to finally actually be able to hold this XL version. I think this is one of the things, along with possibly the 10th, 9th and 10th Doctor's consoles, it's one of the things that I was most upset about missing out on, with the expiry of Eaglemoss and Hero Collector and their models. I think it was the thing that really was most upsetting for me. There is the rumour mill is murmuring that there will be more previously unreleased models. They might be Star Trek, there might be other things as well. We don't know what it is, but there are some murmurings that they may be coming forth in the next few weeks. So watch your socials for that, because and then it does become a bit of a race to see who can purchase them first. As I say, this lasted a lot longer than I anticipated when I was purchasing it online, and it arrived in just a few days compared to my previous orders, which took slightly longer. But there was the Easter holiday that impacted on that, so fair enough. But yeah, it's held at a slightly jaunty angle by the stand, but that's fine, because you want it to be sort of at a jaunty angle, because then you know it's sort of it gives that better impression of it being suspended in flight rather than just held in place. I hope that made sense. It made sense to me. It may not have made sense in real life. So again, apologies I can't show you the magazine, but because there isn't one, but I think the main feature for this collection has always been the ships, certainly for me. So I'm just grateful that I've got that, and it is absolutely earning its slot on my shelf, without question or hesitation. I will, of course, as I always do, ask you, do you think it warrants a slot on your shelf? And I think if you're a fan of Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Picard, and you know, generally the ships of the line, I think you're really going to want to have this, particularly in its XL format. So if that is the case, do please check out quickly Master Replicas, but as I say, I don't know how many they will have left now, and you really absolutely will want to watch out for what you're paying on the secondary markets. It's cautionary words, but you know, ultimately it's worth to you what it is worth to you, and if that means you want to pay a bit more than perhaps I have and others may have done, then you know, so be it. It's worth what it's worth to you, and that's exactly what you should pay. But just don't feel compelled to pay over the odds. So if this has been a long-awaited and an interesting video looking at the XL version of the USS Stargazer, please do hit that like button down below, and whilst you're doing that, absolutely subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more Star Trek, more Doctor Who, more Star Wars, more G.I. Joe, more of everything coming along very soon. So you know, don't miss any of it. Subscribe to the channel, and why not check out some of those other playlists that are already there. You might find stuff of some significant interest. So thank you very much for sticking with me for the last 15 or 16 minutes. You've been a fantastic audience. I have been the time-traveling toy collector, and this has been the USS Stargazer NCC 2893 as it appeared in the Next Generation. It is a beautiful model. It's available currently via Master Replicas, and it is the Eaglemoss Star Trek Starships collection, as I said, XL edition. I look very much forwards to seeing you in a future video, and until then, one to beam up, and remember that a thing of beauty really really, really is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.